Welcome to the second video on the core theme, knowledge and the knower. What we know has a context. Our knowledge has a situation in place and time, and the concept of perspectives invites you to explore this. The concept is an artistic and visual one, and is a metaphor for recognizing that the same idea or question can be viewed of or thought of differently. We have differing points of view, or angles on a topic, or different sides to the same story. As an individual knower, we have a unique experience in relation to the world and how we have gained our knowledge. We have developed our knowledge or our own perspectives in the context of a time and place in history. Based on the year you were born, all of you will be characterized by being a member of Generation Z. Most of you have grown up on the island of Singapore, within a multiracial and multicultural society. What we know is personal to us, and there are actually many factors that might influence who we are and what we know. These might be demographic in nature, age, gender, class, economic status, and nationality, or might involve other individuals, parents, teachers, friends, religious leaders, or groups of communities we belong to, both in and out of school. We all have personal and family histories and belief and value systems, political, religious, and ethical, which contribute to the perspectives we hold. The media and culture which surrounds us might also influence us. Films you've watched, books you've read, and personal experiences you have had or read about. We have to acknowledge that perspectives can be immensely complex. They are intangible and they shift and change as people do. They hold together whole bodies of beliefs. Yet examining our own perspectives gives you opportunities to reflect on the things that influence and shape you as a knower. It exerts huge influence on how we gain knowledge, methodology, what we consider it to be, scope, and how we evaluate knowledge. Differing perspectives within knowledge can apply to fairly superficial matters of interpretation or opinion that have little importance in our lives. However, they apply more significantly to large conceptual frameworks that give us our ways of integrating and making sense of what we know. In this regard, we may speak of cultural, political, or religious perspectives, for example. These are generally learned from an early age within a family, school, or community. When we speak to perspectives within areas of knowledge, which are provided by overarching academic explanations such as theories within the sciences or interpretations within history. Similarly, we may speak of perspectives on society involving concepts of gender, race, or class. We can see these perspectives informally within the community and media, or more formally within social research and analysis. Perspectives draw together assumptions and values, bodies of beliefs, knowledge held in common, and shared practices of validation. People's differing perspectives, tied closely with what they already know, already believe, affect the further knowledge they seek, understand, and accept. Often too, people group together with others who share their perspectives and thereby reinforce their own prior beliefs and limit their exposure to alternative views. Indeed, it is possible for groups of people to live almost as if in bubbles, isolated from each other, even if they live next door. The role of theory of knowledge in the IB is to consider closely how perspectives interplay in the creation of knowledge and what forms of evaluation are appropriate to apply to them in various contexts. We can see this in the IB subject guide, which states some of the aims of TOK, to encourage students to be more aware of their own perspectives and to reflect critically on their own beliefs and assumptions, and to engage students with multiple perspectives, foster open-mindedness, and develop intercultural understanding. These aims are closely tied to the IB learner profile, in particular traits of being open-minded in listening to others who hold views unlike our own, enquirers in activating our curiosity to learn and understand about unfamiliar perspectives, and being caring in showing empathy in trying to see from the other point of view. Identifying our own perspectives and evaluating what impacts our knowledge matters because it helps us to become more self-aware as knowers and to further understand other viewpoints. Different perspectives can open up alternative ways of seeing, introduce fresh ideas for solving problems, prompt a search for new knowledge, and give much broader understanding. Coming to understand the broader perspectives that affect communities and the world can also lead us to greater appreciate the urgent issues of our time. By being open to a diversity of points of view, locally and globally, You enrich your own understanding and your own capacity to contribute positively to the way you gain and share knowledge. This is a big part of our growth and development in international mindedness. With the goal of understanding, then we need to complement an open-minded attitude with skills of critical thinking. Looking more analytically at differing perspectives involves informing ourselves more fully and examining different strands for their major components. Let me introduce you to 5 components which we can examine as we encounter different perspectives, including reflecting on our own. Firstly, are assumptions, things that you accept as true without question or proof. Often apparent differences we have seem to be embedded in larger worldviews with implicit beliefs about the world around us. It is important then to consider the assumptions we ourselves make in constructing knowledge, as well as those of another group. Are you aware what your own assumptions are and those of another group's? Do their assumptions influence the language in which they express their ideas? The second component consists of values, and these underlie every knowledge-making endeavor. We don't seek to learn about anything we don't value or believe to be important or worthwhile. The valuing can be specific to an individual who pursues a particular kind of knowledge, or it can be communal value. Some questions we can consider when analyzing other perspectives. Do they differ in the values that guide what they consider to be most important or most moral? Do they differ in their goals for living, learning, or acting? Do they differ in their views on how the world and people should be? Thirdly are facts, something that is known to have happened or to exist, especially something for which proof exists or about which there is information. We can ask, do the groups holding unlike perspectives differ in the sets of facts they consider relevant or essential? Do their values affect their selection of facts and their emphasis on particular ones, such as facts about contemporary or historical events, information about the beliefs and practices of other groups, or research findings in science or medicine? Do they know the same things about how the world and people are? The fourth component involves looking at the processes of validation. This is the action of checking or proving acceptability or accuracy of something. We can ask, do they differ in their processes for validation of claims and views, their practices for communication or procedures for settling differences? Do they use different forms of justification to support their conclusions, with differing views on what a good reason is for believing something? Are you familiar with their processes and methods? The last component considers the implications of a perspective, the what now question. When we look at implications, we're examining the effect or consequences holding a perspective will have on something else in the future. Do the implications of what they believe take them in different directions for making decisions and acting? Once they've accepted a certain perspective, what follows from it that they will also believe? To what extent are the implications for personal behavior or social action a factor in persuading them to accept another perspective to begin with? Awareness of yourself and the influences on you comes with recognition that others have developed differently from you. They may not know much about your way of looking at the world, and you may not know much about theirs. Finding out, learning about each other offers many fascinating possibilities. The world is wonderfully diverse, and the knowledge you gain about it is alive with different perspectives. As we seek knowledge with awareness of different perspectives, we're likely to find that the question, how do we know, becomes how do I or we know in comparison with how others know. With information flows today, we will encounter diversity, which leads to challenges. We encounter concepts or frameworks of thinking that are very unfamiliar to us or contradict our own beliefs. It is important for us not to turn away, but to try sincerely to understand. This is the heart of the IB Diploma, to listen open-mindedly, to inquire, to try to see from the other point of view. Thank you.